Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia. I hope you're well. Welcome to my January reset. So we are now at the end of January and I have just a lot of little things that I need to get done before we move into February. I want to update my reading tracker, I want to update my reading journal, and I need to get my January TBR and my January books read back onto my shelves. I bought a lot of new books in January that I want to go through in this video as well, and I want to get them organised and onto my shelves. So I just thought we would do a monthly little reset. I do think I'm probably going to do these resets every single month now. I just think it's a really fun way of getting sort of like your reads ready. I've got a new slot for my TBRs for each month, so I need to get my January one out of there and my February one into there, and just some little sort of like housekeeping things that I want to get done. So I thought we could go through those together today. I think I'm going to start with my reading journal and my series tracker that I do on my computer, on my laptop. I want to do those first just because I've got my pile of books that I read in the month of January on my desk at the moment after just filming my wrap up. So I'm going to go through those first and then we will go through my haul and organise everything and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to do my series tracker, I'm going to do my reading journal, we will go through my haul, we will organise everything together. I'll do my series tracker first and we will talk through all of that in a bit. So I'm going to start with my laptop series tracker. This template here was actually made by Maisey. I will link her channel in the description below, but I have made some edits to it. By me, I mean James. He's done some edits to this just so that I don't have to do any maths and I have things like this that I don't have to think about. It just sort of works out for me. So my goal for this year is to keep this under 25. And I do think that I have made a good way on making that happen this month. So let's go through all the books that I read in January. I have done a full wrap up with my thoughts and feelings on these, so I'm not going to talk through them. So as you can see, I've got 16 series I've completed. I've got 9 that I'm completely up to date with. So I've read all the books that are out currently. I have 69 series that I haven't even started, and I have 24 that I am yet to finish. So I first got Leather and Lark. These aren't in order either, they're just in the order that they are piled in front of me. So that is the Ruinous Love trilogy. They are all in alphabetical order at the moment, so it's still in progress, but I have now read 2 books, not just one. I then have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, so that is the Off-Campus series by this author. So I am on book 2 of that now. I then have the Out series by Hannah Bonham Young. I have now read book 2 of this, so I read Out of the Woods, so I have now completed this series. So I have 0 books left to read in that series, which makes me ever so happy. I also have Free in the Wild by Paisley Hope, which is the Silver Pines series. So I am now up to date with this because book 5 isn't out yet, and then 5 is going to be the last one in that series. So that's that series up to date. I then have Enchantra, which is the Wicked Games. So I am now also completely up to date with that one because book 3 again comes out later on this year. I then have The Daughter of a Pirate King trilogy, which I have now completed, which makes me so sad because I have enjoyed that series so much. It has been incredible. I then have the Everseas series, which I don't even think is on here. So this is another fantasy series. It is complete and I am in progress because there are 3 books and I have read the first one. That is everything I have read this month, I'm pretty sure. So let's see where we're at. There we go. So I am down to 21 on my series tracker, which makes me very happy. A successful little month in January, I believe. I'm really happy with that, to be honest. Down to 21 series I'm in the middle of to complete, which I am more than okay with. And we're now going to move on to my reading journal. I use this one here. I can't actually remember who this is by. Yop and Tom journal. And I started this for 2026 in particular. So I definitely have quite a bit to fill out. I still haven't gone through and removed all my sort of like rubber markings because I don't actually have a rubber. So that's good. So we have a lot to be cracking on with. So I'm going to work all this out and then I'll give you a flip through at the end. Let's just jump straight into sorting out my journal. I'm really excited about this. I miss having a reading journal. I think it's so much fun. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning and I'm going to fill this out with you guys now. So let's move you around a little bit, get you comfortable, and then crack on with my reading journal. I've just finished updating my journal, so I thought we could quickly flip through it together. I have already found a bit of a cock-up that I've done. So right at the beginning then, I haven't completed any of my goals, obviously it's only January, but I have done my first 7 books. So as you can see, I've coloured those in. I just used the colour that I've been using for like all my opening spreads, but I kind of regret that. I do kind of wish I'd coloured those in the colour that I used for January, just so that I could see how many books I've read each month. So I might do that from now. So like the colour that I pick for Feb and the theme I pick for Feb, use that colour to colour them in so I can see it at a glance how many books I read each month, if that makes sense. So I think I might do that from now on, but obviously didn't do that in Jan. I then have my A to Z challenge. So I have managed to fill in 5 of the boxes for this month. The other 2 books began with the, and I feel like that's cheating. So like the mistake, I could have put in M, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to find books that actually fit, and then maybe at the end of the month, if I'm struggling, we'll just go back and fill those in. We then have my 2016-2026. I have got my first one ticked off. Dove, I technically finished on the 31st of December, but it officially came out on the 1st of January, but I had the ARC copy, so I am including it. It was on my 2016-2026. I didn't want to start changing it, so we're leaving that here. And I've already ticked off 1 of my 2016-26. I'm really hoping to complete this, if I'm completely honest with you guys. I did also Softy and F Blood and Roses, so it would have been 2, but I didn't get around to finishing that, and I will pick it up again soon. I don't think I've heard of any new releases coming out this month at all anyway. I've not heard of anything else to add to this, so this is the same as before. I then had to choose my best book of 2026, and I have decided to go for Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. It's the only book I rated 5 stars this month, so that has to be my favourite of this month. So that has been filled in. And then we have all my stats. So I'm tracking how many books I read, how many pages, how many of those were physical, audio, my average rating, if I've had any 5 stars, how many books I bought, how many I unhauled, how many books I own in total books read, and that is a percentage. I'm going to track this every single month so that I can see sort of, again, I just like numbers. I like to know what's going on. So I'm also really curious. So last year in 2025, my percentage always sort of stayed between 26 and 29. So I'm really hoping to get that past the 30 mark this year, but that means I need to stop buying books. And as you can see, I bought 12 books, but we'll go through those in a minute as well. I don't think it'll be that high very often. I then updated my series tracker. Now again, I found a little problem. I feel like you don't sort of find the problems until it's kind of too late. I haven't given myself enough room. Like, I've then wrote romances there, and I'm so glad I didn't write them all out, because I am probably going to have to stick in some more pages here. I'm going to have to fix that. But we have my fantasies, and I've gone through and ticked the fantasies that I have read and stuff, and then I'll go through and do the romances once I've fixed that one. I then have my reading log. So in here I'm literally just writing down every single book I read. Again, I just want to be able to see it at a glance if I want to, and then I'll draw a line underneath so that I can see where Jan ends and Feb begins, so on and so forth. So I've written the first 7 books that I've completed on this one here. I need to go back and number them, I think. I've not decided yet. So again, we'll leave that and decide next month. I've not had any hard DNFs. I've just had 1 soft DNF, so I've not added it to my DNF graveyard because I do plan on coming back to it. So again, I have left that empty, and I've not put anything in God tier yet either. I then always leave a few blank spaces just in case I decide there's anything else that I want to track, sort of like as an annual thing. So I've left a few blank pages, and then we get to my January reads. So I always put like a little quote page and then usually a little doodle, but I can't draw anymore. So we then have my January TBR. So this is the books that I chose from my TBR jar at the beginning of January, and I read 3 out of 6 of those. So I've ticked off the ones that I read, and then I've moved my stats over to here as well. And then I also just really like having somewhere to see what I read previous years. So like I've written down how many books I read in every month of 2024 and every month of 2025. So I'm excited to see how the numbers sort of vary through the years as well. I'm assuming most of them will go up. This month I have completed more in this year than I have any previous year, but we'll see if that continues going forward. We then have the books that I actually read this month. So I just put a picture of the covers for all the books, and then I've done sort of like mini reviews for each book then going forward. I'm probably going to do the same thing next month, but then again I've left a page empty, and then I've just started on my February pages as well. Very basic setups because I'm not very artsy anymore. And again, I've just stuck in my TBR for the month, very similar layout, put my TBR read at the bottom so that I can write how many of the 6 books I actually read. I also write the prompts underneath just so I know what prompts I've used and stuff, because again I think that's really fun. And then I've just done the same thing over here. I'm just going to do that title because I've just realised I never did it. So I'm just going to do like the same thing I've done over here but on this side. So let me just get that done. Just like that. Yeah, I've done the exact same thing. I've written how many I've read in previous years. So 2024 I read 8 books in February, and 2025 I only read 4. So I'm intrigued to see if I get somewhere in the middle is my probably my guess for February. But I'm really hoping for this to actually be the first time I ever read a full TBR, so we will see. So that is everything set up in my journal. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think that this is going to be a fun little way of tracking my reading, so I'm happy with that. So moving on then, I think it's about time I talk to you about those 12 books that I happened to purchase in the month of February, because let me tell you, it was an accident. So I have a new rule now when it comes to book buying, and that is that I can only buy as many books as I read the month before. That way my TBR is never going to be going up, it's only ever going to come down or stay the same. So that's my little rule. However, I only read 5 books in December and I have got 12 new books. But again, I have another rule. Pre-orders don't count. Don't ask me why. That's it. That's all I've got to add to that. Pre-orders don't count. So I don't include pre-orders in my book count because I don't. Again, I keep trying to give you a reason. I haven't got one. I just don't want to include them. So with that said then, I've only actually bought like 4 books. So this is my stack. I'm going to start with my pre-orders. So I first have Wolf and Dove. Now Wolf I did actually already own, but I had the original indie copy where it was like a tall paperback. So then when my copy of Dove arrived, which was a pre-order, it was taller than my other one and I wanted them to match. So I reordered Wolf. I've given my original copy of Wolf to my friend Faye. So if I get an e-read ARC of a book and I really enjoy it, I always buy the paper copy, and I've ARC read both of these books. So I love this series. I've read both of these already. This is the Soldiers of Bedlam series by Paisley Hope. So we've got Wolf and Dove. They are incredible. They are dark MC romances and I am obsessed. There is going to be a 3rd one and it's not going to be until like later this year, maybe even beginning of next year, but I am so excited to get the 3rd one. I love them both. I couldn't even tell you which one I preferred more. I rated both of them 5 stars. I love this series so much, so I highly recommend those. I've just sent my camera flying, so if the angle has changed, I do apologise. Another ARC that I received was The Book of Blood and Roses by Annie Summerlee. Now this book I have actually soft DNF'd at the minute. I did receive the ARC copy, but there was a problem with my Kindle's formatting with that one, and it couldn't be fixed, so I had to wait for the physical copy to arrive. I have a soft DNF'd it. I do think I will really enjoy this book. I'm just not in the headspace for this sort of book at the minute. Like, I'm enjoying it and I'm reading it, but I'm thinking about other books, which makes me think that I'm not giving this one the full opportunity to enjoy it. So I have decided to put it down, and I promise you I will be coming back to this in the next few months because I do really want to read it. I just want to read some other books at the moment because I've got them just sort of on my mind and distracting me from this one. But I do want to love this book. It's a sapphic vampire romance, so it's like a vampire hunter, and I've got to like page 100, but I'm just going to pick up some other books and come back to this one. But I am enjoying it. I just want to be more present for it, so I'm going to just get those other ones read so that I stop thinking about them and then jump back into this one. At Christmas I received some Waterstones vouchers, and with those vouchers I pre-ordered. I bought them all. I just bought them all. So I'm just going to hold up book 1 because I don't want to hold all of this. But this is the Heated Rivalry series that's been sort of like doing the round. So Heated Rivalry is book 2. I have that one as well. I ordered all 6 because I had the vouchers and I had the Christmas money, so I just got them. This is a Game Changer series. This is a series of ice hockey romances. And this one is actually on my TBR for February, and I am really excited to read this series and to get into it. It is all that's on my socials at the minute because obviously if you are part of the book community, you will know that this has now actually become a TV series and that is out and is now out in the UK as well. And I really want to watch that, so I really want to read it so that I can watch it. I don't know how many of the books the series is following at the minute, so I'm kind of hoping I can just read book 1 and 2 and then watch it, but we'll see. But I have heard the most amazing things and I cannot wait to get into this series. I honestly am genuinely so excited. It's not very often you would pre-order a full 6-book series, which is why my numbers are so high for this month. I don't think it'll ever be this high again, minus maybe my birthday. But yeah, so I was very naughty and ordered all of them, but I really, really, really want to read it. So I did it. It is what it is. Anyway, I then have my January Fairy Loot subscription. We have King of Ravens by Claire Sager. So this is my Fairy Loot Romantasy subscription box. It sounds like a really fun book. It's like the King of the Dead. He basically traps her in like a bit of a bargain where she has two options. She can either come to the underworld as his bride, or he'll just take her entire family. And I just think that sounds like so much fun. It's absolutely stunning as well. There is a video of me unboxing this, and I'm not gonna lie, this properly made me jump. I'd put it down on my lap just to look at the reversible dust jacket, look down, and he was just staring back at me, and it really made me jump. This book is stunning. It sounds really fun. It sounds like a bit of me, and I am very intrigued and really want to get to this. I want to get better at reading my Fairy Loots because I've only read like 2 of them, and I've got like 12 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, I've got 10 now. This is my 10th Fairy Loot. Aw, yay, my 10th month. So yeah, I really want to get to this one. I think that one's going to be a lot of fun. So that's all my like pre-orders and subscriptions and stuff. And then I also just have like 4 books I bought. We went into the works and I wanted them, so I got them. So I first have, I always get the order of these wrong. So I have the Bourbon Boys series by Victoria Wilder. I have seen these doing the rounds quite a bit this past like year or so, and it just sounds like a bit of me. I don't know if it's right, but they sound like sort of darker country romances to me, and that just sounds incredible. I love a dark romance. I love country. I don't think they're like dark, but I think they're darker. We have Bourbon and Lies, Bourbon and Secrets, and we have Bourbon and Proof. Now, I'm so excited about these. They sound incredible, and I'm really looking forward to jumping into them. I do think I'm probably going to put these, or at least the first one of these, immediately onto my cart, because I do think I'll read these relatively soon. And then the final book that I bought, I'm actually just going to take the sticker off because they don't go on my shelves until the stickers are off them. I also have the third and final book in the Skyridge Hotshots series, and this is by like a mix of authors. So there's one book by Paisley Hope, which I'm so excited about. It's the only book she has that I haven't read yet. And there's one by, well, this one's by Danielle Baker, and then there's also another author, but my books are turned the other way because the sprayed edges are incredible. So yeah, this is the book, the third book in this series, and I believe the last one. So these are all firefighter romances. I read the back of this one, and I really want to jump in with book 3 because the back of this one sounds incredible. But again, I do think I'm probably going to end up putting book 1 on my TBR cart because my TBR cart's getting kind of empty now. I've been really good and reading a lot off of there. So like 2 of the shelves are all just sort of falling. All the books are falling down now, so I'm going to have to start condensing it a little bit, I think. Which means I'm going to have a shelf empty, so I'm probably going to just put other books that I think I want to read soon on there. Do I just leave my TBR cart with just those books on so that I can eventually see it completely empty? Wouldn't that be fun? But we'll see. So that is my book haul. Technically, as far as I'm concerned, I only bought like 4 books. It is technically 12. Now then, what we have to do is get all of these books on the shelves. I've got a shelf empty now to put my TBR for that month so that they're there, they're in front of me, they're in like, when I'm sat at my desk, they're here. I can see them constantly. So these are the 3 books from my January TBR that I didn't get to. So we've got We Who Will Die by Stacey Stark. I do really, really, really want to read that, and that's my Fairy Loot version as well. City of Ashes and Collide by Balcabra. So all of these need to go back where they belong. So that's going to go on my Fairy Loot shelf, and these 2 are going to go back on my TBR cart because they came off of there. So Collide's on my 2016-2026, and City of Ashes is just my next one in the books I'm currently reading and the series I need to finish. So everything else on my desk right now needs to go back on the bookshelves. We have my January reads haul and then just the We Who Will Die by Stacey Stark that also needs to get on here. So I guess it's time we start organising, isn't it? I think we should just jump straight on with that. I'm going to start by putting the books on my shelves because they're going to need some rearranging, because like this is all my adult sport romances that aren't like collegey ones, and obviously I now have all of these, but this one is on my February TBR, so I'm going to put these on the shelves now and then take this one off to add back to my February TBR. I need to make room on the shelf for it, so let's go start fighting with that, shall we? This one has a very obvious spot because the other two are here. So that is going to slot in there. I've seen loads of things about people's books not lining up, but mine do. Thank God for that. I then have all of these books that I read in January. I'm going to do those next just so that I know exactly where everything else is going to go, because these will fill the gaps that I've made. So let's do that quickly first. Okay, I then have these ones here. I think I'm actually going to change up this bit here. My thought process is swap these with my Lila Sage ones. I think I want to mix these around a little bit. So they're all like quite fluffy ones. The Paisley Hope ones are definitely a little bit darker. So I think they will then go on here with the Bourbon and Lies, because I then have my motorbike ones by the same author, and then these three on here. I want all of my Paisley Hope ones together, basically, is my only reason for all of this. Maybe like that. Yeah, I think that's good. And then my favourite from the series I've read so far, Facing Forward. Mate will go there. These can all come over. There we go. Happy, happy. Right then. And then Blood and Roses is just going to go on here in that gap there. I don't think you guys have seen this section of my shelf yet, but I now have this hanging sign that James got me for Christmas, which is like a book counter of how many books you've read this year. So it's currently on 7 because I've finished 7 books in January. But this shelf here is where I've been keeping my TBR for the month. So obviously I haven't read any books in February yet, but these will all go here or on the floor. So they've been going like that, so that no matter what I'm doing, they're in the edge of my eyesight, so that I can literally be bothered by them being there at all times. As I read them, I then just sort of stack them to the side. So I like push them over and stack them to the side once they're read. So they're laid down when they're not read and stood up when they're read. And that way I am keeping myself accountable for my TBR. So now you've seen this section of my shelf, because I don't think you've seen it yet. We have recently added Toothless to the collection. I've had the Stitch for ages, and now we've got the Toothless Lego as well. I feel like that has been a very, very productive day. I feel like I've got a lot done. I feel very set up for everything that will be going on in February. My reads, my plans, my just organisation in general, my journal, everything. I feel like everything is nice and up to date now, which feels very, very good. I think I'll definitely be doing these every single month. I feel like each month I always do something book related. It might not necessarily be a full sit down video and get everything done like today, but like book hauls, things like that. If I could do any book shopping, I might just bring you guys along with me, so I've got some clips to show you guys. All in all, I'm really, really happy. I'm feeling really set up and prepared for the month ahead. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon, my Goodreads and my business email will all be in the description bar below, along with Maisey's channel, just in case you guys want access to the tracker that I used on my laptop. I'm all in all very, very happy and feeling very prepared and excited to get into my February reads. They are sat there now, they're ready and waiting and waving at me, and I can't wait to get into some of those books. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.